And I am live again. And I think I can actually say Happy New Year since this is my first episode for the year. And I hope you have all, started your year so beautifully. Now, it is such a pleasure to be back. My name is Mary Lani. As always, I am the host. And we're looking at employee engagement today. Now, if you're joining us for the first time or you just might be watching the recording, this is a platform where we want to learn and relearn and unlearn. And it's a platform where we want to be, make change agents of ourselves. And definitely a place where we want to be awesome and wholesome together. Now, I have Pierre Neis with me today, and I'm just going to welcome him to the podcast. Hello, Pierre.
Hello, Mary. How are you
How are
doing?
you? I'm
I'm
doing great. And
surviving.
you?
Not too bad. Thanks for having me.
Oh, it's such a pleasure to have you. And guess what? You are my first guest for the year.
Oh,
I
I will be your best one.
Oh, fantastic. I love
Happy
that
New Year to
already.
you.
Thank you so much. And I really needed that long break. So I thought, you know what? I'll put in an episode just for the last Sunday of January, and it's just great to be back. Now, Pierre, today I want us to talk about employee engagement.
Yep.
Employee engagement, and I think this is quite important at a time like this. Funny, it's a topic I had put down for my first episode since last year, um, but I think it's quite topical now that there's been a lot of layoffs, don't you think?
Oh, yes.
There has been a lot of layoffs. There's been a lot of that, on LinkedIn, and it is worrying. So I think it's a good time to talk about employee engagement. So that's what we're going to be talking about. Now, it is a live show, as you know, and we have people joining us online. We stream on YouTube, Facebook, and LinkedIn. And I have someone join me already. Hello, Ronke. Nice to have you here. So let me go back to my banners. And I think, you know, before I even, start asking all those questions, let me, since we have a few people here already, let me introduce you properly to our audience. So if you give me, a minute
Good
or
luck.
two, I am going to read out your bio to our audience, okay?
Yeah, lovely.
So coming from lean thinking and portfolio management 15 years ago, Pierre jumped into the agile world with his entire body, he says. He's been through more than 200 projects and contributed to several communities. 10 years ago, as a member of the PMI, he contributed to creating the PMI ACP certification, which left considerable space for improvement. He also joined Mike Bidu on his project on enterprise Scrum 5 years later. Tapping into his organization development and behavioral analysis research skills, Pierre went on to write his first book in 2020, The New Normal, AO Concepts and Patterns of 21st Century Agile Organizations, and a second book, Swarming X4, in 2021. In 2014, he created Play 14 with two colleagues, a global initiative on facilitation and serious games. He is a certified Agile Master Coach with several Agile certifications and still involved in disciplined Agile with the PMI, with open eyes on the evolution of leadership and with the ICF on Agile coaching. Pierre is an alumni of Boston Consulting Group and MIT. Now, Pierre, that is an impressive bio right there. And it is just a privilege to have you kick off my podcast this year. Thank you so much for being on Sincerely Agile with Mary.
My ego, thank you.
Now, I noticed on your bio right there that you wrote two books during the pandemic, essentially. Tell us about that. That was a very productive period for you.
It's not very productive. It's when you have nothing else to do, you're just gathering all the stuff you already wrote and you put everything and you package it. Then you set up and you try to write it. Then you check out how to write it properly and you destroy it. Then you hand over to your UK friends. That's not proper English. Then you adjust it. Then you send it to your Canadian friends. That's not proper English. Can you rephrase it? Then you send it to your US. and so on and so on. Then you say, come on, let's do it. So it's now it's you took time making for reflection, even though during COVID time, I had one
Mm.
of my customers, a Pierre, come working with us in Zurich. Or you will be, how much do you need? So let's say, this kind of gene seduction father says, I'm way too old. I want to reduce the risk as a freelancer, work my own company. Okay, let's jump again so I can work with big things. And so during COVID time, so I was quite productive. The
That's
books,
good.
a lot of workshops, a lot of online trainings,
Yeah.
all the suffering you all have with the stress for family, the stress for what's happening in the society, all this mass of insane, toxic things that happen. I'm a guy who needs tension. So I need, oh, well, so I put this on live. Let's go take it. And say, oh, it's my marketing tool. Then you
Let's
have,
go with
then
it.
it's getting bigger. But
Good.
it's more like when you speak about writing a book, indeed, it's your first baby, right? You try to make it good. But in fact, it's a milestone. It's okay, because now I have to put myself naked in front of the whole community with my terrible ideas. And I have to accept that I'm saying, oh, you get nothing, you're stupid. Okay, let's do it. And then you have nobody challenging me. But that's,
Because you definitely did a good job with that. I'm yet to buy the book though. I didn't get around to it, but I am definitely
I'll
getting a
give you, I'll
copy.
give you a trick. You get on Kindle, Amazon Kindle is for
Kindle, yeah.
free. It's
Okay,
for
I'll get
free.
it.
You
I'll
can buy
get it.
it in a printing on demand. So they have the
Fantastic.
two books are mostly, the first one is more conceptual, methodological. So you
Hmm.
have the main idea. The second is swarming, which is a chapter of the first book, with diving deeper. The third one will come also, is the
Okay.
12 steps of Agile transformation, of, let's say, 12 steps of any kind of transformation.
Right.
You have to
That would
write,
be an
because
interesting read.
the
Okay.
angle
Hmm.
is, I not considering Agile from a software development aspect. I don't consider for anyway. It's the way of working,
Absolutely. It
because
is a way of working.
I know
It
also,
may have started in the software domain, but it
it's
is
not.
a way of
No,
working.
it's not.
Okay.
Absolutely not. It
Okay.
started. It started in the business part in the 1990s about, let's speak about agile organization, how
Mm.
to be more responsive, right? And then in 1995 you have agile manufacturing,
Yeah.
which is a concept as an evolution of lean manufacturing.
Right.
And then when they wrote the manifesto, McGill came out with the idea of agile, and he
Hmm.
took the idea from lean manufacturing, agile manufacturing. But let's call
Hmm.
it
Hmm.
agile.
I guess it became more popular when the
Indeed.
Agile
Yeah.
Manifesto came out, and that is why we all tend to
I,
feel, that is when it all
I,
started.
I'm a big fan of the manifesto, but in
Hmm.
fact, there's a lot of concepts, and you have to understand. Like, okay, we're on the IT, and we
Mm.
speak. Okay, let's say an example: Scrum. And see, Scrum is a framework. People say, "Oh, it's a framework." I'm a software development, so my
Mm.
framework is a chocolate box. I just eating the white ones, right? Right, and you keep the rest for all the others. No, it's here the idea of, let's say, Scrum is the part of discipline is a scaffolding, is a
Absolutely.
structure,
Absolutely.
the minimal structure. Then you
Absolutely.
see it from a different angle. But
Absolutely.
in the heart,
Hmm.
and this now are linking with the people management aspect. So when
Yeah.
I jumped, I discovered Agile 15 years ago, something like this.
Yeah.
It was more like I came from the lean. I tried to sell myself for the consulting company I used to work. And I went to big companies. I say, "Oh, I'm a lean coach. I want to help you to transform." I say, "Yeah, no, we don't want lean, because lean means cost cutting and people firing." I say, "Oh, that's weird, because I was a lean thinker, so not Six Sigma." So
Yeah.
then I discover Agile. Oh, this is, we are talking exactly about the same language, but different techniques.
Absolutely.
And this changed a lot.
Okay. We have a few people join us. We've got Grace there, and I can see Ruben. Hello, Ruben. I worked with Ruben in Brussels. So good to see you here, Ruben. Chanel and B is here. It's so nice to have you all here. Today we're talking about employee engagement, and like I said before, what a time to be talking about employee engagement with all that is going on right now. So, where else do we start? Pierre, can you please tell us what does employee engagement looks like? A good employee engagement. What does that look like?
So what does that look like? So I will be a little bit theoretical, but mostly practical, because since 2 years, I'm also a manager. So I have reportees.
Mhm.
So I give notes and I do this people management and personal engagements, and I do recruiting. And it was very hard for me because before I trained leaders to hire and HR people how to hire properly and to let's say manage people. Yeah, if we take this word as acceptable, now I have to do it on my own. So I have both theory and practice.
Right.
So from a theoretical perspective, it's very easy. If you think in the agile world or maybe the new way of working, agile is just a response to the fully connected world. The fully connected world is you can't control people by function and you can't control by knowledge. So because they get knowledge whenever they have internet, everyone has internet, right? A function control if it doesn't make sense. So what it works is has to make sense what I'm doing. Don't you tell us, okay, this is where we go, this is why we're going there. Are you okay with that? Up to you to find your way. I can help you. So it's this pull system, this Scrum, is the way
Yeah.
that you're creating a safe to fail container, allowing fail safe experiments. So I'm not an American. You say, oh, cool, we failed 10 times and we continue. That's nah, I'm way too German for this, right? This means you're not good. But is really having, so when you do people management, you have to think about I design a system when people are feeling comfortable to experiment, to do things, and not being stopped up by fear or whatever, who say, I'm feeling shame, or maybe I'm not good enough, or maybe, all this emotion we all have,
Yeah.
not feeling good enough, not feeling whatever, good reasons and fair reasons, just do it. So I love coaching women in my teams.
Why?
Why? Because they're honest. In a way, they say, oh, Pierre, I can't do this. I'm too shy. Who am I to tell? I'm too always good reasons. No, no, no. Let's do.
I
Let's
I
do
think
that,
what you meant there is that it's easier for them to be vulnerable.
which is a good thing.
Yeah.
It's a good thing because you have to figure out a picture. When I used to transform a small company called SAP, so with mid-aged white males or very process experts. So sometimes with me, very annoying and boring, right? Having a sense of humor like a funeral casket or something like this. So it's nothing, right? And you have these scrum masters, agile coaches, women who are former line managers, want to be there, overplaying, overdoing, say, oh, Pierre, it doesn't work. What should I do? I say, okay, let's experiment with something. Let's let's do together a
Mhm.
retrospective only based on emotions.
Right.
And I put it, say, hey guys, Pierre, like very rude. Say, let's do the best retrospective you love. Let's speak about emotions. Say not
Feeling.
again. Yeah.
I
So it's
know.
so it really is, and the behavior is for some people that not really professional. No, it's human connection, like family reunion. You can bash. You don't need to be politically correct because and this creates another feeling. You say now, if they are rude with you, you Scrum Master Coachy, don't feel afraid to say, start trying in front of them, show your emotions, don't hide them, because
But
that's your.
it's so difficult for people to do that in the
It
work environment
is.
because we literally feel we have to, take off our humanity hat at the gate, essentially, and come in as a professional. And that is why a lot of people tend to be much more comfortable with the hard stuff as opposed to the feeling, the
Yeah,
emotional stuff. They want to talk about numbers and strategy.
yeah, that's fake. That's distraction, right? That's a lot of distraction. It's everything is all about communication. So failures of since the last 25 years, I'm sad to say, is always the same thing. We have a lot of projects fail just because of communication. And employee engagement is measured by the Gallup Q12 questions. And we see not that huge progress in the Agile even the last 20 years. So we have quite 3 to 4 reports we can discuss at the panel reports. In the meantime, it means we don't do Agile how it should be, because the
Right.
heart of Agile is people.
Absolutely.
It's only people. Then you just make IoT, EOT, and you're speaking, you're connecting things, you have robots talking to robots, let them do the job. But in fact, then you will have humans brainstorming, taking decision, being innovative, thinking about new stuff. And this is where you can make the difference. It's all about people.
It
When you
is.
understand this, and I love to say, I learned this in Middle East, because I say, oh, then they start, this, who are you? Who is your family? Where are you from? And your cousin, this looks exotic. But I had this shocking thing. We lost all of these because we want to jump directly doing the business, doing the work, because it's a profession, the context of profession, without thinking, creating the links.
Absolutely. And those are some of the things we also need to learn when we're working cross border. What are the cultural, differences so that
I,
we get that human connection right?
I give you another trick. Don't try to learn. Be yourself. Be yourself. Be yourself with your differences. It's yes, human being is, you have a lot of differences. What we want to focus is on what is human commonalities. And you discover commonalities. You will maybe you're, I don't know, in Kent. You are from Kent.
Yeah.
You're speaking maybe about stories about your grandmother. Or say, I will have exactly the same story from my grandmother in Germany. I have colleagues from Madagascar. That conversations. This is exactly, I have the same story from my family in Germany. And the same thing in China. That's what makes us human.
Human, yeah.
That's the focus factor. It's not about measuring how much things you are. You can learn. Everyone has the potential to learn. If you bring them to context. Now I can play with numbers to demonstrate my ego, how smart I'm, MIT, BCG, whatever, and I add all this list. I can add 10 pages bio. This will be great. Does it matter? It matters only for my mom and my kids because they are proud of me. That's it. It doesn't change how I will work with you, because you should feel, oh, I did this. I have people on my team that have 2 PhDs. You can't come, oh, you have 2 PhDs. Hey, right?
Yeah.
Doesn't matter.
Yeah.
It matters is, why are we here? Why do we have to work together? And what's in for me? What's in for me in the context of the group, of the project? And also what's in for me and for the company.
And for the wider society.
Oh, wider society, whatever.
Yeah.
But let's say usually we are speaking here about employee engagement. It looks like we are here more in the business context. Agile is different in the humanitarian context. Like coming on a project, building a for free university from Lebanon, something like this, is intellectually super interesting. Not the same stuff, not the same goal. Because we are here in employee engagement. So you have this tracker, I have my people. So we have to work, we're preparing. So in our group, we're doing they call it a PI planning, because they love the following safe. Even I feel it's crap. I want to do it. So we do it with 80 people together. But then when we build this goal for the year all together, then we will ask individually, and what's in for you as an individual? You can bring your piece of puzzle on the big picture. What's in for the community? What do you think it will be in the community? And what will be in for the company? So we are following this process. We are eating our own dog food. And based on this, we will have this performance planning on a year. And that's helpful because it will make sense for the employee to follow. Lucky me, my employees, my reportees, They're not living in the same country, not living in the same project. I have Norway, Germany, Netherlands, and that's good. So I can behave as a people manager, so more like a coach and a mentor.
Right.
Then we can have this weekly conversation, say how your things are doing. Or we have a board. I use personal agility boards. So just to highlight, oh, have you have a question? Or are you bumping here against something? Can I help you? There is some admin bureaucracy stuff. I say, okay, that's for me. Take me. I will take this on your shoulder. How can I help you? I say, oh, Pierre, I want to get out of a project. Can you help find another one? I will try. But I have the feeling, because I work in a very huge company, because I can do this, right? Because you have this, but this is also the trend you can see in companies, is you're getting rid of the line managers. You have this split off. You have line managers focusing on the product development part, maybe on a domain expertise, and one on doing people management. Unfortunately, the managers like me, we are doing HR stuff, because HR is no longer doing it.
Well, this is what I hear you say, especially at the beginning. You said it's about creating that container,
Yeah.
creating that safe space, so that, and also ensuring that people have that experimental mindset, essentially. And I also hear connection to some kind of purpose. So, what's in it for you? So, having that, purposeful engagement, going the extra mile, purposeful engagement in the sense that, you don't hate Mondays. You're actually, happy to go to work on a Monday because you love what you
Oh,
do, and you have an environment that allows you to feel that way. And I mean, someone here says the emotional part is actually the selling point. Feeling good about what you do on a daily basis, going to work and being able to, express yourself, if you like. That is so important. But like I said before, for the most part, we find that people tend to be uncomfortable with emotional conversations. They tend to be uncomfortable going, in that direction. They want to stick to those hard conversations. But this is something we have to, I mean, we talk about leadership as coaches today, and that is increasing by the day. More leaders thinking as coaches, like you just said, thinking as mentors, because this is what will really bring the best out of our people.
and we have to be absolutely honest on the context.
Yeah.
So I love to quote Dan Pink, who say, "Let's move the salary out of the plate." Let's say if you don't have to be afraid about your salary,
Yeah.
you moved a lot of fear away from the plate. If you have to say your work, you get the let's say, to be honest, most of the work we do is just for your living, right? It's not best case scenario. Usually is it's
Yeah.
on the go to find your best way, and that's okay. That's
Yeah.
okay. And then you understand that your level of engagement, this level, can't be that same thing if you have to have 1, 2, 3 other jobs, right? Because you have 5 people in your family, you have no jobless at home, and you're feeding everyone, right? It's you can't be happy, be agile. That's only nonsense, right? So that's my job, is also to understand the context, right?
Yeah.
So when you recruitment, you ask, okay, how much money do you need as a salary? So money is no longer a problem for you. So nobody will come, I need 10 million. Say, okay, no. They will come with absolutely correct figures. And there's a lot of science behind this, like in a book like Carrot Stakes and these kind of things. You can understand how it works. Then you remove this from the equation. Then you told me about, I want to be excited Monday to come at work. It was one of my first experience, 12 years ago. So we had teams, we had always these meetings on Monday morning to prepare the week. I said, oh, let's skip this. My goal, so I was CEO of a company, my goal is having the people so excited Monday to come, so they don't need to make their alarm on, they're excited to come. Because I read also something else, that we say the most of white males in Western Europe have heart attacks Sunday after lunch. because Sunday after lunch you start to worrying about what's happening at the work.
Worry about work.
No, no, it's not possible. My engine asks people, I want to optimize my resources, and I want them, when they have rest time, they have to rest really well, so that I'm performing better afterwards, right?
Absolutely.
So
Absolutely.
I did all my Monday meetings Fridays
Hmm.
and Friday in the morning.
I mean, I see you have actually gone into the strategy here, because that is actually a strategy right there that you employ to keep your employees and the people who
No,
report to you.
in
Is that?
in
Yeah.
wording, this is called a tactic.
Tactic. Okay.
The strategy
Tactic.
is make the people happy, because
Okay.
the concept side effect will be happy customers.
Some of the
Uh,
tactics, fantastic. I really, really do like that. Now, let me see. Do our audience have any questions? If you have any questions for Pierre, please post it right here. Thank you very much. Thank you for your engagement. Now, let's see. Let's talk about agile. Let's talk
yeah,
about agile. Has agile ways of working helped employee engagement in any shape or form? Because we still use people as resources. We still talk
indeed.
about human resource. We've said it already. We need to engage with people on a different level. So, given that agile ways of working is supposed to be an improvement on the traditional way of working, where people were predominantly paid for their hands and not their brains, where
Yeah,
people worked in factories and they were micromanaged. We are in a knowledge economy today, and people work differently. If you're in a knowledge economy, you're predominantly using your brains, and you need to be given the space to get these things done, which is some of what agile is trying to help us achieve. Tell people what to do, and let them be creative, because human systems are intelligent. So in your view, has agile ways of working really helped in this regard?
oh, so then I say agile way of working in a way. I will use what I call AO agile organization is
Hmm.
the method. It's just a method, having a collection of tactics. And the tactics is more like seeing and waiting on the effects, and see what are the effects, and work on the effects of the, let's say, outcomes of any initiatives. And it's more about naturally growth. It's more, we don't make bonsais, we make biodynamics growth, right?
Right.
Because the plants are the crops are stronger. This is exactly what we want. If you can't be paternalistic, you have to be. It's not colonialism. It's growth by assimilation. So assimilation means we have to build teams. So you have to let the team set up as a team,
Mm-hmm.
and you have to identify the work life. You can use a Kanban. So let's say example, and in a non-IT, let's say finance department. So we all finance. In fact, they're just accountants, and put all together. So let's make. Oh, we want to do agile. I say, yeah, but they don't have a project. They have a lot of micro things.
Yeah.
Then you start to work. Then it's okay. Let's visualize them, and
Mm-hmm.
let's just cover 30 minutes every day, only one day in the
Mm-hmm.
day, and just focus on the work, or maybe 15 minutes, and highlight me where you are. I'm doing this, 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 and you go progressing this. And everyone puts, oh, I'll do this, and then whatever. Then you start visualizing work, typically Kanban. The next day, you say, okay, work is progress. Are you stuck where? I'm stuck here. Do you need help? Or who can help? Easy peasy conversation, right? To keep
Yeah.
it easy. I never mentioned daily scrum, whatever.
No,
It
no.
is out of the way. Let's just do it easy peasy. And then you have engagement, because you're not coming to evangelize, come with a new religion and ask people to embrace your religion. And say, I don't give a damn shit about the religion. I'm agnostic.
Language.
I'm rude. I'm rude. I'm not American. Sorry. So, yeah, so you're going really well on it. You see how the people are doing, and you can make jokes on it. So I used to work in Lebanon, there wasn't the guys were not able to say, oh, can you tell me what to do? And they were not able to put it on the paper. They say, what's happening? Oh, inshallah, I've got no. What is this, inshallah? Oh, we never know. Say, okay, so let's create an inshallah column. and
Okay,
put all your stickers in the inshallah column. They
that's
laugh 10
interesting.
seconds and they continue laughing, but they film me everything in the column. They say, that's a good one, because it was their language, you know?
Right.
And based on this, but you have to observe the system. You
Mm-hmm.
can't apply a process. You're looking about the people, how they're interacting. Interacting means all my team members talking with each other.
Mm-hmm.
So you can build a Scrum or whatever methodology when your people are not dedicated. They're coming and go. They come and go. That's not agile. That's nothing. If you put a Ferrari sticker on an old rusty Fiat, it doesn't make it a Ferrari. It's
It
still an old
doesn't.
rusty Fiat with a Ferrari sticker. And you
Absolutely.
want to have Ferraris, and you build it together. So meaning though, if I come, even I'm an exuberant guy.
Mm-hmm.
So I'm coming people, and some people say, "Oh, I'm offended about your jokes." I say, no, you don't like my jokes, and you don't need to like my jokes, or you're too rude. I say, yeah, that's me. Maybe you're too shy, and you set up the system, you set up the space. Then some people jump in, and some people need a little more time to jump
More
in.
time.
Is that really transparent? Is this guy really honest? What is the manipulation behind? Then people need a month, and that's okay. But you have to be absolutely fair. And so the main focus is setting the stage, working with people, uh, and build trust
Yeah.
and be honest and trustful. That's
Mm.
hard because
Yeah.
all the other systems will play against you.
Yeah, I really like how you touch on, the particular context and bringing, the cultural dynamics of
It
people
is.
into that as well. So it's not just about installing Scrum or Kanban or any framework. It's about really looking into the people because, like we said, it's about the people. So what works in, United Kingdom may not work in, Oman. So it is very, very important that we take that context into account. And that is what will also help us to achieve employee engagement, right? So it's not so much whether, you're doing Scrum or it's the human context. So we really can get away from bringing humanity to our workspaces. That should be the goal. If we can humanize our workspaces, then we will likely get the employee engagement we so desperately desire.
I had a call yesterday with the US, and we have this kind of conversation because I have projects in manufacturing, and you have to go in another way of working. Now, manufacturing, by example, are way more disciplined as IT.
Mm,
When you so they got this system thinking. They
yeah.
get this.
Oh, they do. Oh, they do. I mean,
Oh, way
that's
more.
where that's why Toyota did so well, isn't it? The Toyota
Yeah,
system.
yeah, but in the meantime, you don't expect this. It's Kaizen is great, but that's also culturally. That's Japanese.
Mm-hmm,
That's culturally,
mm-hmm.
hardly culturally. And Yin is the US version, and then you have to embrace the religion. Say, then it becomes weird, right?
Yeah.
But really, if you understand that the people are working together is a need, and also is the low cost hyperpower you have. Use your assets. It's not the knowledge is not at the top. The top has to give direction. I have in my ears team members having a chat 6 p.m. later at the end.
Mm,
I say, "Oh, Pierre, how was your day?" Oh, very well. And yours? Oh, it's a nightmare. I work on
mm,
this and have a lot of problems. And you're shitty agile. I say, "Oh, I love when you say you're shitty agile." Yeah,
yeah.
this makes no sense. And they say, "Oh, that's a good point." And the second
Mm,
point is, don't tell me what to do. Tell me where to go.
hmm,
And the tell me where to go is missed. This is where I work a lot with leadership. I say, don't over engineer everything.
mm-hmm.
Because the thing is, we are working mostly with my customer that want to have 100% agreement on the plan. Like, Pierre, 99% is okay, but say, what are you doing? I take it with 51. Nine, you just want to make people happy. Make pleasing people makes no change.
Yeah.
Change is rude. Change is not simple. Nobody wants change. You don't have a plan. I want to get married. I was 25 and divorce is 30. Then I marry again, then I divorce again. Sorry. You want to marry for life? I'm divorced. Never planned this. You have a plan that life is bumping and you have to react.
Life
It's
happens. Yeah.
how tough you are and able to react is based on simple minimalistic ideas. I have my daughters are big now, and my training on that is just be creative, versatile, whatever happen. So you're able to jump and don't stuck and
I like
always
that.
stop moving, continue moving.
I
The
like
problem
that.
is when you stop and you jump into depression,
Mm.
all these kind of things. And it's
Yeah.
always context driven.
Yeah, because we live in a system, and I mean, if we want to look at it from that point of view, and every system is constantly in a state of emergence. Nothing is ever static. So we really must have that mindset. I really like that
And
advice you gave your
everything which
daughters.
is not manufacturing cannot work
Yeah,
with manufacturing principles.
yeah,
It's only
absolutely.
when you have people, so let's say administration, you have a lot of bureaucracy. We're doing a lot of take. People are speaking about performance,
Hmm.
and you ask how much time do you dedicate on a project, and how many projects are you working? I'm working on 5 projects, and I have. And what is your business usual? You say, okay, fine. You should work on me on one project. I made this kind of I make crazy things like global company test automation concept in the SAP field, and the team say, oh, you have to do this. You have 5 months, but the team members you have just 3 guys. Okay. Oh, I get you leaders. Okay, and they are not fully dedicated. They're working from home in India, and I have just 30% of the time dedicated. Say, okay, do it. I was program director and have this is one of my programs. And you know what? We deliver on time, on scope, on budget, and whatever. Because we had dailies, and the daily rule was attend if you can. I never asked the capacity. I don't care. So we made weekly sprints, 1 week
Hmm.
sprints,
Hmm.
because high risk, slower
Yeah,
sprints.
yeah.
Monday triage, 1 hour triage. Hey, that's the main focus of the week. The
As
thing
long
is
as it
physical.
works for them.
Yeah, and I say, okay, are you sure? Are you sure being there? Yeah, yeah, okay. Then you have these daily meetings and Friday review. I try to review and retrospective. Say, review retrospective 1 week sprint with people dedicated 30% makes no sense. Making 1 hour everything on it, and they delivered and they get support because we have with business we prepare the work so they build standards modules to avoid so you have side effects you work upstream downstream to help this and it worked.
Talking about upstream, we have a question from Ruben here.
Yeah, correct.
Um, how do you ensure to bring on board top management in the transformation and make them understand it is not about agile, but about connecting people, within the team?
Yeah, but that's not you're not selling this you're selling money. You're getting connected. What's the budget? Budgeting return of investment. I love selling agile with money. I
Hmm.
say agile is cash flow. It's not capex. It's not investment. I have a product that able to evaluate the return on investment every sprint end. If not, I have no product owner. You discover that most of the case we don't have a product owner, and people say, "Oh, we spend X million of dollars in transformation." This is leadership feedback. Oh, what is happening here? We have no. What's the return? Oh, I say you return 100 times investment. Okay, fine. Okay, then okay, what's the investment? Oh, we had zero. So we have 100 times zero. What do you expect? The game is, it's not easy. It's not, if you do it for free, sorry, nobody cares. Nobody cares if it's for free. It will be a change, it will be a effort, has to cost money. But Agile has to demonstrate that you have a rapid return of investment. So it's cash flow. And this is the conversation. And I love to play with people Because when I speak with leadership about cash flow, that will come naturally, and the human part.
Mm.
So I push in one direction, getting the answer up the second direction. But I
So this is
always,
what I hear. This is what I hear, Pierre, and this is so important because a lot of organizations are going into agile transformation to do agile. Okay. What I hear, and which is what I am aligned with,
yeah,
is agile is a means to an end, if you like. I mean, we know transformation. In fact, some people don't even want to use the word transformation anymore. They want to use the word evolution. Okay,
yeah,
because
keep it transformation.
it keeps evolving. So with agile, why are you embarking on this agile journey? What is the business imperative? This is what I hear from you. What
Yeah,
is the business goal? What
absolutely.
is the return on investment that we're looking for? Is it, to increase our revenue? Is it to increase our market share? What is the business aspect to this? I mean, we see a lot of agile transformation where they don't even know what they want to measure. At the end, they don't even know what they want to measure, but they're looking at sprint planning and daily stand up and everything else because they're doing
Because
agile.
you're OEM. So your purpose, we had in my company we having 200 agile coaches just for, and we have 2,000 Scrum Masters. So we have a 350,000 people big company. So it's not always paradise. It's complicated. So we are consulting. So we have the OEM. Most of the people is
Mhm.
doing nearshore, offshore. That's great, and you have very smart people. But the behavior from the customer, when you that bow cheap people
Mm.
that don't, you get one the work that don't like,
Mhm.
and that don't usually don't care. So all these connection with the leadership say, yeah, yeah, but they just want having, okay, you handle this, that's fine. How you handle it doesn't matter. That's the purpose. When you come into consulting, you say, oh, we have to go here, Agile. I say the first question before starting, what do you want to achieve?
Yeah,
What's the problem? What do you want to achieve? Well, let's say what do you want to achieve in at the end of the year?
exactly.
That's the in your creative, that's the vision. And agile transformation, I love the word transformation because it's a phase between transformation or the phases between now and the evolution and the
Mm.
change. But if the change is not defined, you're just transforming. It's transforming what
Exactly.
is doing nothing, right?
Exactly.
So
We,
you
we
have to
really must have that business context for the reason we are embarking on an agile transformation. I mean, like I said before, you see a lot of posts on LinkedIn about agile failures. You see a lot of white papers on, agile reporting and all of that, talking about how about 70% of agile transformations fail. And for me, it's a
true.
recurring conversation on this platform because I'm an agile coach and I would like to go into organizations and do
Yeah.
the best that I can to
I,
see
I,
because
I give you here the point. When you do agile per se, like oh now agile at scale, which is this mix of Spotify, OKRs,
Mhm.
and safe. This is usually what you find in big companies now. Usually they don't have the right people in place, and they just want to deploy a methodology. So they just want to, okay, it's written here in the book, we are using this process. Then you take SAFE, you take a look at SAFE, or SAFE portfolio management, you take a look at SAFE portfolio management. What the crap? You have no clue about what portfolio management is. You move it away. It makes no sense. Then you make CI/CD or continuous integration, continuous deployment. So very, very technical here.
DevOps, so that's DevOps,
DevOps,
CI/CD, yeah.
challenging. This is challenging your agility. You have to be absolutely responsive. You have to think as a team.
Mhm.
You can't have several projects in parallel. You have to focus on the problem. You're
Mhm.
mostly a lot of time of firefighters, and you have to do fire prevention.
Mhm.
So it's all this kind of stuff. So this change a lot of how you work. But always, I now have some panel of very good transformation and very bad transformation. Usually, very good transformation that all had a goal. Like we want to make an SAP deployment between South Africa. I have my teams. I had 12 time zones. I was in meetings until 2 a.m. in the morning. Then I send a message. Don't wake me up before 1 p.m. So I want to manage my time, but it's okay, and you're not controlling.
Mhm.
It's based on the outcome, how you transform the outcomes. So then you create, then you solve the issue. Then the customer say, "Oh, I love the way of doing. How do you handle agile in the SAP context like this? It's
Mm.
possible because it's written nowhere. We have it written internally because there is companies and IP in that, because I did it for them, for us now. I'm part of it, and explain how it works because you should not use words. So I love, let's say, starting first meeting with everyone, we do bullshit bingo. And the bullshit bingo asks everyone all the words you hate hearing. So, and you have Scrum, Agile, all the things, all the words say, okay, and now we're removing all these words from the equation. What's the problem? And we can only solve the problem together. And you change the way. You're not coming as an evangelist, you're not coming like a trainer, like the one who knows better at everything. Then you explain, my job will be, I will be with you, and you work with the team. So even if I work with the board of directors, I still have a team, I still have my hands in the dirt. And we have a transformation plan working with other agile coaches, scrum masters on the transformation plan. And we show every month how far, how good we are. And we explain also the context. Because transparency is not only for the engineers or the guiding execution. Transparency means also, we deliver 20 points or 20 items in doing this sprint, who cost us 200 man days. But we had just 30% of our time to do the work because we had 70% distractions. And these are distractions. And you just think about doing this in the board of the French National Research Institute with all the directors. And then you have the CEO of this group here looking all the directors, what are the 70%? So transparency is for everyone.
It's for everyone, not just the delivery team,
No, no,
organization
no,
wide.
no,
Yeah.
because then everyone understands. You're feeling, oh, that's a pushback. I know this game. Finger pointing pushback, and you're just like, no, transparency for everyone.
Absolutely.
But it's a constructive transparency. So
Yeah.
as a coach, you have to have on your mind a backup plan. Because if you create a context when you stressing the board, you will lose.
Yeah. Yeah.
You will lose. But if you say, I have maybe an idea for you, or maybe I can help you, maybe there's a trick, because we want to start first that the team is delivering. Then the phase two, I want to that the team delivers what's matter. It means I need to manage the demand.
Yeah.
Then I will manage about the capacity. Is my team then fully dedicated? Because already we start delivering. If you deliver, you're reducing the stress and you're
Yeah.
having a conversation with the
Yeah.
users, customers, and then you make it better and better. Then you're going into capabilities about training, all this kind of hardcore stuff. You can do directly hardcore stuff like really, let's say, clean codes, very hard things, very important. It's important, but in a transformation plan, it's not the most important. The most important is to
But you
deliver.
need to get there eventually to make it more sustainable and to be optimized.
Then maybe you will create technical debt at the beginning. Then maybe you can see, then doing away, maybe you can reduce the technical debt.
You have to.
Maybe, yeah, maybe not. Because maybe I'll have a clever product owner who say, it doesn't matter because we are working on a new version, which is completely, we will solve this technical debt. So you
Okay.
don't touch it and you
Okay.
say, but they say, then don't forget to decommission the older version. You know? And then you understand where you can act. Because my job is having the 3D overview. And then you create this sense of belonging. Then everyone finds his place. Then everyone wants to play there. Then they're all engaged.
Interesting. Interesting. We have a comment here from Olufunkedio. Employee engagement sometimes feels like an unending cycle, one initiative after another, and sometimes it feels like these are never ending enough. Are never enough. Attrition remains high and in many instances. Absolutely. And we were just talking before you joined us, Olufunke, that we were asking if Agile has helped solve all these problems, because one of the things we try to achieve with Agile, Pierre, you can jump in here if you like, is to make change normal. We wanted to move away from this whole idea of, this change coming, another fad, if you like, another management fad, and to make change the norm, walking the agile way, having that experimental mindset, ready to experiment and be much more innovative and responsive. That was part of the idea of agile, Pierre, wasn't it?
Yes, but at this moment in time, 20 years ago,
Mm,
you don't forget IT was just a service. Nobody cared about IT.
yeah,
And you were able to experiment a lot of things because nobody cared about you. Because IT was, I need this cable. Can you have your toner from a printer? That's
yeah,
the level of IT we had,
that
right?
was IT.
So which
But
was,
today, IT is as good as your business. IT is your
yeah,
business driver.
today, IT costs a lot of money, and even head of IT is a former developer who has no clue how to manage costs, right? It has a strategy. Oh, we need this money to make it turn, and 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 the problem is the market will change. You would have a new leader coming and say, okay,
Mm,
miss, this, I'll have a startup. I can fix this for lower cost.
mm.
Remove it. So it's creating the condition. We are still in the same condition than 20 years ago, and the mindset of IT department haven't changed. We have to think about IT has changed. IT is a functional silo. You have IT things everywhere. So
It's
why
getting
should we?
I think it's getting slightly better though. I think to a great extent, Agile did help to bring
Oh,
business and IT together. And now with DevOps, we're bringing IT and the actual operations also closer together. It remains a journey anyway, like we said. It remains a journey,
yeah,
and I
but
think we're doing better every time.
to be now, if you talk in IT departments, when you speak about DevOps or if
Yeah.
you speak about Agile, the level of DevOps is more miserable than the level of IT because a lot of people think that DevOps is just Azure DevOps. It's a tool.
It's
Come on,
no, it's not a
come
tool.
on.
It is a mindset, actually. I like to see DevOps as a mindset. It is
Yeah,
a mindset. It is a way of working.
yeah, and I'm a kind of expertise on this, which sorry, not a DevOps expert at all, because I
Hmm.
see it from an organization perspective. I need
Hmm.
the challenges, what you need to do, how you bring it, not about the tool set and this. No,
No,
no.
no. But
Um,
obviously the tools are a huge part of it because we want to be able to automate everything we can possibly automate so that we can free our manpower for the more strategic and solving activities. So I mean, you do DevOps. Sorry, you need your tools in order to automate your CI/CD pipeline. But fundamentally, DevOps is a mindset as far as I'm concerned.
yeah,
It is a way of working,
I
and it
always
is
come.
useful.
I always come as a good example for the team I
Mm,
used to coach a
yeah.
couple of years ago. See, my DevOps team delivered every 10 milliseconds at a fixing bugs in production. That's
Well, they do that these days. I mean, a lot of the big organizations like Google, they are deploying almost every 5 minutes. We hear.
no. They're not in 5 minutes. They're less than milliseconds.
Exactly, exactly. I mean,
Yes,
that's a huge change.
it is, but you can't do this change during the night.
No, no, but that isn't happening. Well, that is still happening in some organizations. Talking about employee engagement here, I have been an Oracle DBA like 25 years ago. So I understand what it means for a pager to go off at 3 a.m. or 1 a.m. in the morning. I totally understand that. So to see that, we can now deploy into production while customers are even using the system, that is a huge, huge, huge progress in my opinion. I'm sure there are still a lot of organizations that have some way to go when it comes to DevOps ways of
But
working, but I think we have made some progress.
yeah, there is some progress.
Hmm.
I have a lot of respect of the DevOps communities. A couple
Mm.
of good friends of mine are there, typically there, and say, "Oh, you have so much things to do. So what are you doing? You're doing something which is non-IT related." No, just caring about people, and that's the most
I
important.
am training as a DevOps coach and I'm loving it.
Yeah,
Be-
most of the time this is what I'm doing because I say,
yeah,
okay, if you want to do this, let's start first with TDD and
yeah,
do with this mindset, and
yeah,
I apply DevOps techniques also in manufacturing.
yeah. Again, it's about the people, it's about collaboration, it's about trust, it's about creating that safe environment. And it does help employee engagement. It does. Now, I know you have written two books. We've got just 6 minutes left. Tell us about this book, The New Normal, AO Concepts and Patterns of 21st Century
Okay,
Agile
so in
Organization.
my title, I'm an Agile Master Coach. This is absolutely not humble. It means I'm training and coaching coaches.
Okay.
And I so we missed something when we do this Agile Summer. Couple of questions, and this is where AO came out. It's about the new normal. It's more like in COVID times. It's what should be new normal. It's more way. Hey, we're not speaking about IT. It is an IT. It's for IT, but not only for IT. For me, in my teams, we have in business. In my meetings in the dailies, we have the customer and the sponsor in the daily meeting, and
Wow.
you're speaking. So it's and the level of conversation is our level of conversation we are having here. So it's very smooth. And it was a very, very strict environment, very controlled. And they loved it. And it changed. So we say, how can I bring this? So AO is based, like the coaching question is designing the alliance between the customer and the doers, between the executives and in execution and the leaders, and how does it work? So you have steps. What is an agile organization? How it look like? Means what means agile organization done? Say agile organization done is I have my company is working like a platform. In the platform, you have interaction based on project, on programs, or maybe swaps, which are micro projects. And you have a platform. People are just maintaining the platform. And you have on top of it is called the plexus. And the wording, name, and conversion is coming from another methodology applied in the digital world, from the digital finance business, from a company called Stan Stewart. I say, oh, I will use the same words so they can use it to apply it. So we have a platform. That's the goal.
Okay.
Going there, you can't make it in one shot. So you have to say, okay, I have first my structure. It's a triangle. It's me in my organigram in the organization. Is in my company, I'm a senior manager. I applied to become an associate director, which is the next level. The value is for me, not for the company. You don't make your money there. O is project, organization. This is where you're making the money when you're making a budget. So when you think, but the problem is if you have too much structure and not enough organization, you're making your organization at risk and the business risk. So the idea how AO is, if I'm completely AO agile organization platform, I have a very minimalistic structure maintained by a very, very thin line. That's the context is calling us company as a company. So
Right.
more my organization works like an Airbnb, my company is an Airbnb, you have buyers, sellers, and in the middle you have the plexus say yes, no, not agreed, that's fine.
So very minimal structure in terms of
Yeah. And
right.
now how to get there when you are in this kind of, so we are waterfall, in fact we are chaotic. We have mostly a lot of structure, like, highly regulated environment like banks, or the finance world, or the life sciences, super regulated, means structure over structure over structure. This
So
is
does
not
that mean you have teams that are like feature teams, if you like, that are direct to the customer so that they can be much more responsive?
in products they're working like independent startups. So
Right.
when I explain rapidly to CFOs, to board of directors, like the previous question we had, say, think about my company instead of being this is all the teams are working like internal startups,
Right.
independent, they're empowered independently as a startup. They have a budget and you calculate your return. So the board of directors is working like a venture capitalist,
Right.
is investment. You can buy new teams, you can sell teams.
Wow.
They say, oh, yes, this rings a bell because this creates flexibility.
It does.
It
And
makes us
it gives them that entrepreneurial mindset as well.
indeed. And now back for the people. And the people, your safe fulfilled container is then the team.
Mm.
So now if your team is like a merger acquisition, you're part of XYZ company, you don't care. You're still in a team. This is where your comfort zone. That's the comfort part. And if you don't have this comfort part, you won't be able to face change.
Interesting.
Is
That
it?
sounds quite interesting. I'm definitely getting this book, and I'm still going to be having a conversation with you about it because it does sound quite interesting. And please link up with Per if you want to. He's on LinkedIn.
Mhm.
And next Sunday, I have something interesting happening. Next Sunday, I'm going to have a mystery guest. My next episode is about a mystery guest. I don't know who my guest is going to be. And the topic is minimum viable bureaucracy. That is the topic. Now, this is crazy. I don't know who my guest is going to be. I don't know if anybody is going to join me. So I'm going to come live on my own next week, Sunday. And the topic is minimum viable bureaucracy. And I'm really hoping someone will join me. I'm really, really hoping someone will join me. I just want to try this out. I want to have some fun.
Perfect.
I want also to have some fun on LinkedIn. I love a good conversation. Love, stimulation, intellectual stimulation. So yeah, this is what we're doing next Sunday, and I hope you will all join me. So Per, thank you so much for the
My
time
pleasure.
investment here today. To our audience, thank you so much for joining me this Sunday, same time, same place next Sunday. I appreciate you all and have a fantastic 2023. This is my first episode this year. So happy new year if you're just joining us. And thank you so much for joining us. Pierre, thank you so much again. I can't say that enough.
Happy New Year. Make it better.
Thank you. Bye bye, everybody.